Aeron's footsteps dragged over the uneven path as he emerged from the dense forest into a small clearing. Before him lay a village, modest and weathered, its thatched roofs leaning precariously under the weight of age. Smoke curled lazily from a few chimneys, the only sign of life in a place otherwise eerily quiet. The chill of the forest clung to him, but something about the silence felt unnatural. Villagers stopped their tasks as they noticed him. Farmers with tools in hand and women carrying baskets of grain froze, their gazes sharp and suspicious. A boy, no older than 10, tugged on his mother's sleeve, whispering something. Aeron, disoriented and unsure, raised a hand in greeting, but no one moved to approach him. Finally, an elderly woman, bent with age but steady in her stride, stepped forward. Her gray hair was pulled back into a neat braid, and her piercing eyes seemed to see through Aeron as she studied him. She carried a clay jug and wore an expression that was a mix of caution and pity.
You're not from here. Come, you look like you've seen worse than the woods. Let's get you warm.
The woman's home was simple but clean, with dried herbs hanging from the ceiling and a single fire crackling in the hearth. She handed him a bowl of steaming broth, and though Aeron hesitated, hunger won out. The warmth of the soup seemed to ease the tension in his chest.
Now, you've come from the cursed woods, haven't you?
I don't know where I'm from.
We've had no visitors from the forest in years. People who go in don't come back, except...
Her voice trailed off as her gaze flicked to the corner of the room where an old, dusty book rested.
There's a legend about a mirror of souls hidden deep within these lands. It's said to hold the power to reveal truths, your own and those of the world. But it is guarded by trials not meant for the faint of heart. And you, there's something about you. You might be the one fated to find it.
Before Aeron could respond, a loud crash came from outside. The woman rose abruptly, her expression darkening. She ordered, grabbing a gnarled staff from the wall, but Aeron was already on his feet, the warmth of the fire forgotten as a deep sense of urgency took hold. The fire in the old woman's hearth crackled softly as the traveler slumped into a wooden chair, his face pale and his breath shallow. Aeron stood nearby, arms crossed, watching the man carefully. The villagers had dispersed, leaving only Aeron, the old woman, and this stranger. Shadows danced on the walls, the flickering light lending an air of urgency to the small room. The man leaned forward, gripping the edge of the table with trembling hands. There's something in the woods, lights that shouldn't be there, shadows that move when you don't. I've seen things. His voice cracked, and he shuddered, as if recalling something too terrible to describe. The traveler hesitated, his gaze dropping to the table. I followed the lights, he whispered. I thought they might lead me out, but instead, they led me to the whispering tree. The old woman gasped audibly, her hand flying to her mouth. Aeron turned to her, his eyes narrowing. What's the whispering tree? It's a place of great power, the woman said, her voice barely above a whisper. A place where the veil between this world and the next is thin. No one who goes there returns the same. The traveler nodded vigorously. It spoke to me, he said. Not with words, but in my mind. It said things I don't want to remember. And now I can't sleep without hearing its whispers. It's why I ran. I had to get away. Aeron felt a chill run down his spine, but he refused to let fear take hold. He stepped closer to the traveler, his green eyes steady. Do you know where this tree is? The traveler shook his head. It's deep in the forest. The lights might lead you there, if you dare follow them. But no one should. Before Aeron could respond, the old woman spoke, her voice filled with warning. If the whispering tree is real, it may hold the key to your past, Aeron, but it's not a place to approach lightly. You'll need more than courage. You'll need something to protect you. She crossed the room and opened a small wooden box, revealing a pendant with a faint, ethereal glow. The pendant shimmered like moonlight captured in crystal. She held it out to Aeron. Outside, the village was silent, the moon casting long shadows across the empty streets. Aeron stood at the edge of the forest, the dense trees looming before him like silent sentinels. He gripped the pendant tightly, its soft glow reassuring him as he stepped into the darkness once more. The forest seemed different this time, more alive, as if it recognized him. Strange lights flickered in the distance, and whispers floated on the breeze. Aeron's heart pounded, but he pressed on, determined to find the whispering tree and uncover the secrets of his past. The journey had truly begun.